Cheryl Turpin running for state senate.
Yes.
Tell me why. Why is this something you want to do?
You know, last year or the last 2 years, we did so many great things in the House of Delegates. We passed Medicaid expansion. We, gave teacher pay raises, and I want to take all of that energy and passion into the Virginia Senate.
The House of Delegates is a certainly worthy place to pursue public service. What is it about the Senate that seems more attractive to you?
There's just more people to serve. There are more people to help, and it's a bigger district, and I look forward to representing them.
You've done a life of public service as a school teacher. Did you always sort of have, the desire to expand your public service horizons, or how did that come about?
If somebody had asked me a while back, what would I be doing today, this moment in time, I'm not sure this would be what it is. But sometimes you have to know when to step off the sidelines and become a player in the game. And when Scott Taylor won his congressional race, I saw an opportunity that I took the leap of faith and stepped off the sidelines and became a player.
Since you've been there, what have you enjoyed the most about your public service pursuit?
Being able to help people. You know, I've had lots of people give me problems, and we reach out and we solve those problems for them. I had a young constituent who lost her health care, and I was able to get her the health care she needed, and that was very, very important.
Well, as we had the debate before the Central Business District Association last week, to me, the two critical issues that came up were indeed health care and gun safety. So let's just start with health care first. If that's people's concern, which I assume it's most every voter's concern, is their health care and well-being, why are you the one they should vote for?
Because I was honored to vote to expand Medicaid expansion to 400,000 people here in the fine Commonwealth, but more importantly, 18,000 in the city of Virginia Beach. That's an important number. I'm fighting to make sure that those pre-existing conditions remain covered. I'm making sure that people can afford health care.
And so do you hear from constituents with horror stories now of, insurance woes and just concerns about how they think this may turn out in months and years to come if there aren't protections put in place? Or?
I think, all of these things are protected by Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And, as a state, we need to make sure that we are protecting our constituents and protecting the citizens. And, we are doing what we can at the state level to make sure that they continue to have health care. And people want to make sure that they have affordable pharmaceutical costs, and those are other issues we need to be looking at as we move forward.
And so is it particularly important, though, from where you stand, that it be a Democrat in this seat casting the votes in terms of protecting for health care?
Yes.
If it were a Republican in the seat, for example, you're not as confident that the votes would go the way you want them?
We know by simply the history of the past 4 years, having them voting against the expansion of Medicaid and that those are issues that we really are fighting hard to preserve. And yes, I do think having a Democrat in there helps protect Medicaid expansion.
And so if Republican was in that seat, and if Republicans controlled the majorities in the chambers, and if a Republican was the governor, how concerned are you about the future of health care in Virginia?
I'm very concerned. It's going to be devastating.
Because they will get in there and they will do what, do you think?
I think they'll retract the expansion of Medicaid.
And so your hope is that you and your Democratic colleagues will be able to
absolutely
stop that.
Yep, that we will continue the fight to make sure that our citizens have the health care they deserve.
Let's talk a little bit about guns. That came up the other day at the Central Business District Association. No one could have possibly dreamed up in a nightmare what came about here in our city on May 31st of this year. But I guess that underscores more than ever, right, from your point of view, the need that something more must be done.
I was terribly disappointed that we sat there for 90 minutes and they called for a reconvene on November the 18th. We had such hopes going forward. They weren't complicated. There were 9 bills that we knew that the citizens of the Commonwealth wanted us to move forward on, and to convene without ever hearing one, not allowing any of us to have even a discussion of them, is shameful.
The special session, when you left here to go up for that, did you anticipate that would be the outcome, or were you hopeful that maybe there would be some debate and some votes?
We were hopeful. I had hotel reservations for a couple of days thinking we're going to have this final opportunity to do what we need to do to keep our citizens safe. And we all were astonished that 90 minutes they called it. It, again, shameful.
Not in your race, but in one of the other races, the narrator and the voice of the commercial acts indignant that a Democratic candidate would even talk about guns, that she's trying to, capitalize on our tragedy and our misfortune. I guess what I'm wondering is it not perfectly appropriate to talk about guns given what this community has been through in the last 4 months?
I think it's absolutely appropriate. I mean, some people say it's too soon, and I go, okay, well then let's just have a chat about Virginia Tech. It was 12 years ago. Maybe we could have an honest discussion about Virginia Tech. If you feel this is too soon, then let's talk about Virginia Tech.
So what do you think the answers might be from your own point of view as to what we as a Commonwealth ought to do about making our communities safer from gun violence?
There were 9 bills that were presented that the governor had, researched, made sure that this is what the Commonwealth, the citizens of the Commonwealth wanted us to do. Background checks, universal background checks, banning bump stocks, red flag laws. Red flag laws are terribly personal for me. There are so many things, just those bills were simple, straightforward, thoughtful bills, and we never heard them.
So you're hopeful, I guess, that maybe January will come and be a different day in Virginia?
Yes, it is my absolute hope for the Commonwealth.
Okay, so it's November 5th, right? Isn't it November 5th? Is
Mm-hmm.
Election day? So November 5th comes and people turn out in droves to vote. But they walk in there rubbing their chin and saying, well, I'm not sure I should vote for, and they pull out a coin and they flip. And you hope that the flip comes out in favor of Turpin. Well, here's your chance. What would you tell them? Why should they vote for you?
Because I'm a high school science teacher who wants to go forward, bring data-driven information to the area in regards to flooding and climate control. I've taught it for years. I want to protect teacher pay raises. I want to make sure people have the health care they deserve and need. And when you're going into the polling precinct, I hope you remember those. And it's about putting people first.
That's very cool.